Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you guys how to use the content awareness fill in Photoshop CS5. I'm on a Mac, so it could be a bit different if you're on a PC, but yeah, so pretty much what the tool does, or what the feature does, is say you have something in a picture that you don't want there, whether it's a person or just something on the ground, something in the background, whatever, you select it, and with this special feature you take away what you selected, but Photoshop will fill in what the background, or what it thinks the background should be behind it. So it's pretty cool. An example is if somebody photobombed your picture. So here's an example from Google. Picture of a bunch of people, and then in the background there's just some random that nobody probably wants there. So you can just select the person and delete them, and then Photoshop will take, looking at the background and what's around it, think what should be behind it, and it'll actually fill it in. Usually pretty good. So I'll show you guys with a sample picture I have of a pole with a flag on it. So the easiest way to get it into Photoshop is to click on it, right click and open with, and just pick Photoshop out of the programs. Alright, so once it's in Photoshop, I'm just going to make it a bit bigger here and zoom in a bit. Cool. So the first thing you want to do is come down to your layers here, and what you're going to do is you're going to right click where it says background and go duplicate layer, and you can name it, I'm just going to keep it that, but you can name it content aware fill or whatever. What this essentially does is it makes a copy of what you're playing with, and you're going to be editing the copy. So if you do screw something up and you want to go back and you can't undo for some reason or whatever, you have this original just in case, so you don't lose your picture. So make sure you're on your selected background, make sure you selected background copy down here, or whatever you called it, and you're going to go on your toolbar on the left hand side here, and the third one down is the select tools, I like to call them, and the one I'm going to be using is this one I'm on here, the middle one. And what this allows you to do is pretty much you're just going to click on one of the corners around the picture, so maybe right there, and then it brings this line here, and you just kind of click around the picture, around the image I should say, until it's fully selected. Let's see, there we go. So that's pretty good. I'll show you another tool you can use in a second that will do this a lot better, but once the thing's selected, make sure around the edges it's, for the most part, covering the image, and then you're going to go up to the top to edit, and then fill, and then it'll probably on black if you're doing this for the first time. Change it to content aware and keep this on normal and keep that to 100, and you're just going to click OK, and it disappears just like that. And then to get rid of this selection, you can go select and then deselect, or just Command D on your keyboard, and it's gone. So it's pretty cool. First thing I noticed with this one is there's a little shadow right down here. To get rid of that, same thing, just click around it as best you can, and then edit, fill, content aware, everything's good, click OK, and it kind of fixes the shadow problem. And then either Command D to deselect, or select, deselect, and you're done. So that's the easiest way to do it. I'll show you the difference between the two now. So that's the original on the right, and that's the edited one on the left, and you can see it did a very good job of knowing what's supposed to go behind the pole and the flag, and putting in what's supposed to go there. So we'll try it with one more really quick, so I'm just gonna quit. I'm not gonna save this. Alright, so again, to open this picture, right click, open with, and then Photoshop. Perfect. And we're just gonna make it a bit bigger. Cool. So for this one, I might want to take out these things in the water, and then maybe even this huge boat or whatever it is in the background. So I just have water and land, just instead of all these distractions. So with this one, I'm actually going to use the magnetic lasso tool, and what that does is you click on a part of the, I'm just going to zoom in even more. So on this one here, you click, say, right here, we'll start. And then with the magnetic one, it'll actually find the contrast between the background and what you're trying to get rid of, and it'll make the lines for you. So as I come along here, you notice it kind of attaches to, or kind of magnetically selects what's supposed to be selected based off the colors in the picture. So I'm not clicking at all here. It's just, I'm just going around it, and it's linking on to things that it thinks should be selected. Now, if you do get to a spot where it's kind of jumping all over the place, if you click, it'll make a for sure spot, and it won't come off of there. So then you can go from there. So come around, done. So that is the best way to select something. That'll give you the best effect, because if you do the freeform tool where you just kind of go around it easily, it's a bit, it doesn't work all the time. So this is the best way to do it, is select it as close as you can like this. But you'll notice I didn't get a couple of the spots. So this spot right here I missed, and down here I missed a bit of the shadow. So to fix that, you can go select, modify, and then expand. And I'm just going to put it, say 8 pixels, and that'll just take whatever you selected and just bump it out about however many pixels you picked. That was a bit much, so I'm just going to undo that. And pick maybe let's try 4 pixels. So that's fine. So we have the whole shadow, and we have the whole tires and everything that we want to get rid of. Perfect. So we're going to go edit, fill, and then content aware, everything like the last one. Click OK, and it's gone, just like that. You notice down here there's a bit of jumping, but that's just, however, like if you can fix that by selecting it, you zooming in a bit more and selecting it as close as you can will fix that. So let's try this one here. For this one I'm actually going to use the other tool, which is just the regular lasso tool, and this one you just click and hold, and you can drag around more freeform, so you have to have a steady hand to do this one. But another thing to note, always, whatever you're trying to get rid of, if it has a shadow, always get rid of the shadow too, because if you leave the shadow, it's going to be a bit odd looking, because there'll just be nothing there but then a shadow of a person or whatever. So that's selected, so we'll go edit, fill, content aware, okay, and it's gone. And then Command D to deselect, or edit, or sorry, select, deselect. And now, I don't know if you guys can see it that well, but this one you can kind of see a bit of kind of a line where the two images don't really match up. Easiest way to fix that would be to come over here to the smudge tool. So it's probably going to be on the blur tool when you start, which is a little teardrop it looks like, or water drop. Click and hold on that and go to the smudge tool, and pretty much, I'll just make this a bit smaller. This takes whatever's in your picture and just kind of smudges it around. So where my line is here, I'm just going to click and drag a tiny bit, and that just smudges it a little bit so it looks more natural. It kind of blends in, and those two are gone. There's a bit of shadow there, but that's okay. So the last one we're going to do is the boat in the background. So for that one, I'm just going to go with the regular lasso tool, and like the rest, you just go around it as best you can. And again, if you take the time to do this really, really well, you get a lot better effects. I'm just doing this for sake of time. So, and then edit, fill, content aware, okay, and it's gone. And then Command D to deselect, and you're done. So you just turn that picture that you had right here into this easily. So it's a really useful feature. It actually works really, really well. If the thing you're trying to get rid of is the main, if it's pretty much the whole picture, like if it's really, really big on the picture, it doesn't always work because there's not enough background for it to fill in. It doesn't really know what to put there. But with things like this where there's enough water beside it and there's enough background, it knows what to put. It actually works really well, and it's really, really cool if you can do this as some of your own pictures. So that's about it for the tutorial, and I'm going to show you some other pictures that I did. So this one example, say of an airplane, you could take away the sign in the background there, maybe even the fence, or the post there. You just take all that away so you don't have the distraction. Or this one here, you could take away the cigarette butts, just selecting around them, and same sort of thing. So I'll show you some pictures, some before and after of some other ones I've done. But yeah, that's about it.
I'm falling all over myself to lift your heart in case you're here, 'cause with the birds and scared it's a lonely view, and with the birds and scared it's a lonely view, and with the birds and scared it's a lonely view. Blood lost in a bathroom stall, a southern girl with a scarlet draw, a wave goodbye to Ma and Pa, 'cause